keyword outline. Howdy, I'm Brock Dio. We'll be talking about NIL and its effect on college football and all the key stakeholders in that. So let's start off. What was college like before NIL? It was all about passion, tradition, scholarships, and having the opportunity to play this great game and maybe get a chance to play at the NFL. But in the House v. NCAA settlement, it was decided that players must be compensated for their name, image, and likeness. And due to National Conference of State Legislators, it was decided for the 25-26 season that there would be a $20.5 million cap on rev share for universities to give to their student athletes to compensate them for the value produced to the universities. But why is NIL such an iffy topic in college football, and why do so many key stakeholders have such competing and also sympathetic views of each other? It creates so much opportunity and tension, essentially. And the real focus group of all that tension is the student athletes. So let's get to them first. Student athletes, they have never, until NIL was really officially in, been able to fully maximize the earnings they give to the universities or the value they provide to the universities. But NIL allows them to get some of the value they produce. Not all of it, but some of the value they produce. Because of their short careers, and that most of these college kids, most of these student athletes will never touch the NFL, it's a great time for them to make money in a sport they love, putting their health on the line, their bodies on the line, in this short time period of about 4 to 5 years. Also builds pressure. It builds a lot of pressure for them to perform to match the amount of money they're getting paid. I mean, if you're getting paid $3 million a year to go play QB at some school in the SEC, it's a lot of pressure to perform at the highest level, or that money looks like there's not enough return on investment for other focus groups, the main one being coaches. Coaches, their neck is on the line with the player's performance. And due to that, there's a lot of pressure on them to handle NIL the right way. They have to manage NIL expectations from players and playing time all at the same time. This is a very tricky balance to do. And we have something called the transfer portal in college football, which really shows where the system's a little cracked. It's basically a free agency every single offseason for these coaches. They have to re-recruit their own guys back into the team. Even though recruiting from high school to college has been a lot easier to do NIL because you can offer a kid a lot of money to come to your school, the portal where kids can leave a school to pursue their opportunity at a different school has made it a lot harder to keep a roster together. And this is where loyalty and building culture has been a lot harder for schools to do. And this is coming from the source, Petty and Poor, that he said it's been a lot harder for coaches to keep players loyal to them and build a healthy culture that they can then use to go win football games and keep their jobs and provide for their families. The next key component of this, the people above the coaches who support the coaches in all this, is the admin, the boosters, and the alumni. These groups, what's it called? They know NIL helps their school stay competitive. NIL is what separates Texas A&M from a Texas State. They're often at two different budgets. And A&M has a lot deeper wallets to support their student athletes, their football athletes, than a school like Texas State or UNT, any school like that. But also, and the rev share, they have to balance all the rev share money and the donated money from boosters about NIL. That's really the admin shop. They have to balance all that. But boosters are getting tired. From On3, there's a lot more donor fatigue through this because they're getting asked year on year on year for sometimes dwindling results. This is where the relationship between coaches and boosters and the admin and players is really confusing, because boosters know that they need to donate to win, but also they want to see a return on their investment that they are not getting if a team underperforms for a season. And that puts pressure on the coaches, on the players, but also forces coach to be a lot harsher to players, which may force a player out the door, and they might seek NIL opportunities somewhere else, where with the better football team. But lastly, is the fans. That's the last key stakeholder in this. They support the players getting paid, of course. They've seen what the players go through physically. These players are putting their bodies on the line for their entertainment. They understand that, but they worry about the tradition of college football, the pageantry, what college football used to be about. Like I said in the beginning, scholarships, passion, tradition, and make it to the NFL. That's been lost through NIL. All the transfer portal stuff, all that has disdained some people's view of college football. NIL has really grown beyond its initial purview. A lot of people thought it would be really not that big of a thing, but it's grown, according to the Washington Post, way beyond what it would have been if the NCAA handled it right. Conclusion. This conclusion to everything. NIL should completely change college football for good. In some good ways, some bad ways, but it's created a need to meet at the table from all the stakeholders and understand how they can take the great sport of college football to a better place. Gig 'em.